going to show you guys what you should do in this video if you do have to hold a gecko that's under 10 grams, how to hold them safely and how to pick them up so you don't hurt them. I kind of fully expect all these little spots to definitely gain size as this gecko grows, but you can already see all these huge spots. They're probably going to keep growing as well. Super pretty gecko. Oh, look at those spots. Nice big dark spots. Gorgeous, gorgeous gecko. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I hold baby crested geckos. Now, I really don't recommend holding crested geckos until they're around the 10-ish gram mark, because when they're smaller, you have a lot greater risk of injuring them or them getting injured by jumping. So what I like to do is wait until they're at least 10 grams. Now I will quickly show you guys what I mean and how I weigh them. Basically, I use this old meat container, like lunch meat container, on top of my scale. Now the reason I do this is because these guys are so small and they're so quick, they can easily get away if you use any sort of other type of scale. So let me show you guys how I weigh them. I kind of put them in here and see if they kind of climb out. I can kind of just stop them from climbing out, if that makes any sense. And get them in there, and then once it's on the scale, she's 11 grams, so she is of proper holding size. I'm not going to use her the whole video, but I am going to show you guys a little bit on how to handle. She is of the proper size of when you can start really handling them and working with them and calming them down. But I'm going to show you guys what you should do in this video if you do have to hold a gecko that's under 10 grams, how to hold them safely and how to pick them up so you don't hurt them. So you guys are going to make sure you want to stick around for the whole thing. That way you will be a pro by the end of the video. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so this is one of the new girls that I just got not too long ago in one of my last unboxings. Very, very cute, but still a little bit scared of me. Not really calmed down yet, but we'll work on that. So the first thing we're going to do is show you guys kind of their tank setup really briefly. I usually do like a plant on one side, a hide, and then food and water dish. Now, like I said, this is just a quarantine tank for her, so it's a little bit more bare because I just got her. I still am monitoring her, freshly cleaned, but yeah, very, very cute. That's pretty much what I do. I'll also include like a little branch in here. You guys have seen those, how I make those before. If you haven't seen those, I have a whole video on that. So check that out if you guys want to. I also have a video on how to tame them. But this video specifically is for working with babies so you don't hurt them. So if you guys want to see how to tame them and tame them, then definitely go and watch that video after you get done watching this one. But this is really briefly, like I said, how I set up their tank, especially for quarantine. Very, very bare. Obviously, once she passes quarantine and she's good, I will have some sort of climbing branches in here. Actually, she's gonna be moving out of here because she's too big for this, but she's still in quarantine, so I want to keep her in here for a little bit longer to monitor. Once she clears it, like I said, she'll be going into my rack system, which again, I feel like I'm plugging all my videos, but it's relevant to this video. If you guys want to see my rack system that I have for all my grow outs and my juveniles, then check out that video. But all right, enough plugs, not trying to do that in this video. Let's get into it. All right guys, so the next thing we're going to talk about is how to actually pick them up. Now this is why I say I recommend waiting until they're at least the 10-ish gram mark. Obviously, if they're a little bit smaller, it's okay, but around 10-ish grams is when you can really start working with them and handling them. This is where you could hurt them. So I'm going to show you guys how I kind of work with them, how I pick them up. I don't just go in there and grab them, but let's get into that and I'll show you. Like normally I would just take a finger or two if it's an adult and try to stick it underneath their head, and then you kind of just lift up and the whole gecko will follow. Again, that's in my other video on how to tame them and how to handle them. So if you guys want to see that, do that. But for babies, you can't really stick a finger underneath their throat. It doesn't really work because they're so small. They usually just climb on your hand or climb on you. But what I try to do is get them to go into a corner, and when they start climbing, you can kind of stick your finger either under them or wait for them to get to the top. And then you can kind of do that same thing that I was telling you about, just lift up and then they kind of stick with you. And that's how I'd get them out of their tank. Now, if you are needing to clean their tank, you're going to have to lift them up to move them. I do not recommend under any circumstances going down and trying to pick up your gecko. You could easily squish, hurt. You never ever want to do that. So basically either let them climb up to the top on their own and then you can kind of grab them, or kind of get them to go into a corner and then just lift up and then they're kind of already on your finger, if that makes sense. How many spots this baby has already? And there's even red spots in there too. So cool. Can't wait to see what this one looks like. But anyway, getting distracted. But yeah guys, again, you never want to go and just like pick them up like that. You definitely could hurt them when they're this small. That's why I don't really recommend holding them until they're around that 10-ish gram mark, just because you don't want to hurt them. I mean, they're so small, so many different things could go wrong. You don't ever want that to happen. Look at this cutie. Alright guys, so once you do get them out of their tank, basically what you're going to do to tame them or get some of their energy out and get them used to you is hand walking. Now, I've shown this with adults many times. It's basically the same thing for babies. It's just you're working with a baby, so you got to be a little bit more careful. Basically, what I do, we'll stick one hand out and let the baby jump on it. Then you can either nudge them with a finger or let them do it on their own. Sometimes they'll just take off and run on their own. But a lot of times they'll either jump or run. You can stretch your hand apart and do things like that, basically. And then let them jump. See how this baby's just jumping? You're kind of getting them used to your touch. You're getting them used to using their muscles. You're getting them used to you. You're kind of getting them to calm down a little bit. Sometimes I found it works if you touch the base of their tail, or like not the base of their tail, the tip of their tail, or towards the end of their tail. But this is basically what I will do, is hand walking or hand jumping. It helps to get them, like I said, a lot more used to you, a lot of their energy out, and just overall will get them more comfortable and confident with human interactions. As long as you're having all these positive experiences building on each other, I think that you'll have a very, very tame gecko. But again, you're not really wanting to do this until they're a little bit older. But since I'm not really doing anything to the gecko's just doing, you know, just climbing and moving on its own, I think this part is okay for when you get them out. Again, this is only for a couple minutes because they're little, they don't have a ton of energy. So you basically just want to do this for like a second when you're holding them, or if you're holding them while somebody else is helping you clean their tank, you could do this for a split second, couple minutes, like 1, maybe 2, and then I would get them right back to their tank. But that is how I hand walk babies. But yeah guys, I've shown you guys how kind of to do the hand walking multiple different times, so you guys can see any of my other videos. I show them in my Crested Gecko care guides too, so you guys have seen all that before. Real quick guys, wanted to give you another Morph Market update. This is Napoleon. He is going to be going on Morph Market with a lot of other geckos. He had to lose his manhood, but he's fully healed now, so he's going to be going on as an auction, I guess, gecko, whatever you call it. But we're also going to be updating the rest of the Morph Market and adding a bunch of geckos. I have not linked it yet. I'm going to link it when I do the proper release and let everybody know. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it's in the works. Pictures are being taken and I'm trying to get it done. But again, I'm by myself, so everything takes longer than if I had, you know, an editor or somebody cleaning gecko tanks or taking care of the geckos, but I don't. It's just me, so I've got to try to do everything, you know, on my own. But I'm not complaining. I'm just saying why it kind of takes longer than what I'm sure you guys would like. I'm doing my best, trying my hardest, so that will be very, very soon. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me. Alright guys, now this one is the clutch mate to the last one. I'm going to show you this one in a second, but I just wanted to give a little bit more explanation on how much you should be handling once you can actually handle. Basically what I would do is probably 5 minutes a day for 3 or 4 days a week. I think if you handle them that much, they should be okay. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. If you lift up on their head when they're doing that, they'll kind of climb out. But look how many spots this one has too, and this one's just little. Obviously way different base color. But like I said, clutch mate to the last one. I'm very, very excited about this one, honestly. Look at all those spots. This thing is teeny tiny. Obviously you guys can see it on my hand. So yeah, if you guys are holding for 5 minutes a day, just letting them hand walk, crawl on you, and just kind of working with them, and you do that a couple times a week, I think you guys will have very tame crested geckos, especially if you start working with them when they're younger. But don't let that deter you from getting a gecko. If you are putting in the work and you're actually getting it to be comfortable with you and you're holding it and spending time with it, they will calm down. Some of them are a lot more chill and calm than others, but as far as just basic geckos, I mean, like, you can chill out a lot of geckos, so don't really worry about that. But there are some that are naturally just a lot more calm and chill. But like I said, it doesn't really matter too much because you'll be able to handle them either way. So now another thing I see is that when people are working with them, some geckos will use the bathroom on you. Now, this sucks. I'll just say it sucks. And being a breeder, I work with a lot of different geckos, so I've got a ton of different geckos. They will use the bathroom on you occasionally, certain ones, when holding them. Don't ever put them down if they're using the bathroom when you're holding them. If they're pooping and peeing on you, let it happen. Obviously, if you know that they're gonna pee or poop, you wanna put something down like paper towel or something to make sure you're not just getting poop and pee everywhere. We are basically doing that, so you will put them down. Now, if you put them down every single time they pee or poop on you, what that's telling the gecko is all I have to do is pee or poop on them and then I'll be put down. I won't have to be held. If you keep holding them when they're peeing and pooping on you, eventually they're gonna stop because it's not working. So if you are holding them and they're peeing and pooping, obviously try to clean up like the pee off of you or whatever, or the poop or whatever. You don't want to just sit there with pee and poop on your hands, but you don't want to just directly put them straight back down into their tank, because then they know, oh man, all I have to do is pee or poop and I don't have to be held. So you're basically teaching them, no, that's not okay. You're not going to be able to do that. It's kind of like similar to like ball pythons, how like if you have a ball python that's a little bit bitey or a little bit nervous and they're kind of striky, just because they strike at you or just because they bite you, you should not put them down. You should continue to hold them because you're teaching them biting and striking is not going to put you down. I'm just here to hold you and then you'll be okay, and you're teaching them. It's kind of the same thing with crested geckos, very, very similar. So that's one of my biggest tips for people that are working with some that are flighty or a little bit nervous. Always, always, always hold them if they're going to the bathroom on you. If, you know, they don't go to the bathroom, like you'll notice within a week, they're not going to keep going to the bathroom on you. Like if you do it every single day, 2 or 3 minutes a day, probably 2 minutes a day if it's constantly peeing and pooping on you, but 2 minutes a day, you're going to be okay. And you're going to notice after a week, that gecko is probably not going to be doing it anymore. So definitely something to know for sure. Now, I kind of explained this earlier to get them to move about touching their tail, but I'll say it one more time. Now, if you're going to put them back into their tank, they won't get off your hand. Sometimes they won't get off your hand. So what I will do, and again, be very, very careful, because you don't want your gecko to drop its tail. I mean, probably. I wouldn't want my geckos to drop their tail, so I'm sure you guys don't either. But what you can do is touch the tip of their tail when they're by their tank, and then that sometimes will get them to jump off. So if you ever have a gecko that's like stuck to your hand and won't come off, which it does happen, definitely try that. But again, be very, very careful, because you don't want to just like pinch their tail or squeeze their tail or hurt them. You don't want them to drop their tail. So don't be worried thinking that they're going to drop their tail. I have had one gecko lose its tail the entire time it's been in my care, and it was due to thunderstorms. Of all things, thunderstorms. It sounded like bombs were going off. It was insane. Craziest thunderstorms I've ever been a part of or like seen or heard. But yeah, only one gecko dropped its tail from that. Never had one drop its tail. I literally clean out their tanks. I don't even know how many geckos right now. Ton of geckos. Basically, I touch their tail every single time I'm putting them back to let them know, you know, it's time to jump off. And never had one lose a tail because of that. I also work with them a lot though, and I'm very careful, and I kind of know my gecko's body language, so I can kind of tell what they're thinking a little bit. I mean, it's not like they really think a lot, but losing the tail doesn't affect the health, the breeding, the price of the gecko, or anything like that. But we do want to make sure that our geckos have tails, so definitely just be mindful of that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's a little bit different of a video than normal. I don't have my typical intro or outro, but I just wanted to get a video out to you guys this week. Been having a lot going on. I'm a little bit congested. I've been having crazy allergies, horrible allergies. So if you guys noticed that, that's sorry about that. But trying here, I do all of my videos and all of my animal care by myself, so I don't have a ton of time. So I'm kind of working on trying to figure out how to get videos out to you, get the videos that you guys want to see out to you, but also get all of the care done. I'm always going to put my animal care first, so if a video doesn't come out because I'm either sick and have to take care of the animals, or just have to take care of the animals and don't have time, then, you know, it kind of is what it is. But for the most part, I feel like I've been doing a video a week pretty much for the last couple months, so I'm trying to get better on it. I feel like I've been better on it, but occasionally, yeah, I'll miss a week or have it postponed a few days like this one was. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up and shoot me a comment if it helped you or if you learned anything. Really quick side note, look how gorgeous the red spots are on this little gecko. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. I mean, when do you see a little gecko with this many red spots and that big? Like, that is insane, people. This one is going to be pretty. It looks like it's got some green ones in there too. Super, super cute. Hey guys, make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. This dude's trying to jump off my finger again. Look at those spots. Dang. 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 Alright, See ya. If you guys want to see sneak peeks and little bonus things like that, or special notifications, definitely make sure you guys are subscribed to my Instagram, because I post extra pictures, extra things, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram too. Make sure you guys are subscribed on here. And guess what? Like this video, because Napoleon said, right, Napoleon?